It'll be helpful if I took myself off mute. So to our YouTube community. This is Deborah Walter on this beautiful, peaceful, I'm gonna say peaceful and quiet Sunday. I am here with you again with talked just conversations with Deborah on the Ladies Podcast. So I do want to just make sure that you guys are aware of the Ladies Podcast show. In our lineup, as I mentioned, I'm Deborah, and I'm here every other Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then we have Velma every other Monday at 7 p.m. Central, and Felisa every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. Then you have myself and Felisa again going live with you on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. So thank you guys for joining in. And tonight I think it's gonna be every topic, every subject that I look to bring a conversation to or discussion to, I try to, ensure that it is food for thought. It's all about empowerment, in every aspect of life. The better you understand yourself as an individual, as I've had a couple of topics already on the Just Conversations with Deborah, where we talk about the spiritual aspect of your being, who you are spiritually, which will help you to better understand your life in the physical. As I've said so many times before, we are spiritual beings living a physical experience. And so to me, they speak about duality from a spiritual standpoint. But to me, this being a spiritual being living a physical experience in this bodysuit, there's some duality with that within itself, because as a spiritual being, we are cut from the very fabric of love. We are cut from the divine source itself, which is all empowering. This big force of the energy that is just love. And so when you encapsulate that into a physical being who has human emotions, different aspects of being a human being, that brings a certain level of a layer to life, to experience in life. I just put it like that, because tonight I don't want to get all deep into that, because tonight's subject is about the power of certainty, how knowledge transform your potential. And so, in other words, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Hands down, knowledge is power. And so before we dive into this topic too deeply, I want to make sure, if you are new to the Ladies Podcast show, please be sure to like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. We're doing some wonderful things on the Ladies Podcast with a lineup every other Sunday, every other Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Hands down, we haven't skipped a beat so far, bringing you empowering conversations that impact your everyday life. And we're doing, like I said, we're doing some wonderful things. Our community is growing, is vibrant. We get so much feedback from our community of people, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I take it and I try to apply it to my own, in my own introspections, self-reflection, something that we should all do, right? Something that we should all do on a daily basis, on however often, because we don't all have the answers. Sometimes I'm not going to say make the wrong decision. We make the less favorable decisions in our life, in whatever decision you make, be it favorable or unfavorable. There are consequences. There are actions and reactions, cause and effect, right? Cause and effect. Some people call it karma. A lot of people not being aware that karma, it doesn't just come to, for retribution. If you did something wrong to someone, it's going to come back to you. No, it's all about for every action, there's a reaction. If you do something good, good is going to come back to you. If you do something bad, unfavorable decisions. I'm going to try to make sure I use that word. I'm trying to get away from using the word bad versus good, but all in all, cause and effect. So you do something favorable is going to come back to you. That's how the universe works. And if you do something unfavorable is going to come back to you. So we're going to dive into, this conversation about knowledge being power. And if I may, just begin by starting with the scripture in the Bible. I think it is in Hosea 4:6. Hosea 4:6. My people perish for lack of knowledge. The creator source, infinite source, creator of all, understands, well, knows, because it's all knowing. But for us living this human experience, knows the importance of knowledge, to be aware, not to just be going through life just, aloof and not really tuned in and just, living by chance or, you know, um, as I like to say, I like to live a more purposeful life. But how can you do that? The only way you can live a more purposeful life is to have knowledge when it comes to your life. Hosea 4:6. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Now that doesn't, so knowledge comes in all forms. It hits just about every sector in our lives. You have um, there's professional knowledge, there's spiritual knowledge, something that I wish to, try to share as often as I can on Just Conversations with Deborah. There is, like educational, academia, the books, math, science, English, different languages. Um, you got that aspect of, you got financial knowledge, when it comes to, the economy, economics. So, without diving into all the various ones, because I'm pretty sure I would miss some, I said that to say this: knowledge is so vast. It is so vast. And the thing about it is, our human brain can only hold on, absorb so much knowledge, and we can only retain so much knowledge at one time, right? So I think it's important to dissect knowledge, pull out what is important to you for your life and your well-being, and then apply it accordingly. Apply it accordingly. Now, and once you gain that knowledge, you don't just sit aside and say, I've arrived, there's nothing else to gain from that. Knowledge is a lifelong pursuit. Knowledge is a lifelong pursuit. I may have shared this saying that I either read it in a book or caught it on another podcast, where the person said, the day you stop learning is the day you start dying. Now, they're not talking about a physical death, but the world is just, it changes so much. The only thing that is constant is change. And I'm sure you guys have heard that too. It changes so much to the fact that you can get left behind. You can get left behind, and the world has gone on and done wondrous things, and you still find yourself in the same place you may have been in 10 or 15 years ago, because you have failed to gain knowledge, right? And so I think, as I've shared on this podcast before, we are living in a very important, very pivotal and life-changing moment in this day and time. Some people say it's a beautiful time to be alive, because you're getting to the opportunity to witness the changing of the guard, the changing of the power structure, the end of one age and the birth of a new, or entering to a new. And as you all know, I like to say nothing is new under the sun. The world has been here before. You and I just haven't. So I do believe there is a lot of change in flux. There's a lot of things going on right now, and where it's leading us, I think there's going to be some beautiful things to behold if we are, still have the fortune opportunity to witness it. So, with that being said, I'm going to take another pause and ask that you like, share, and subscribe to the latest podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. And matter of fact, go ahead and hit that notification button so you can be notified when we are live. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna dive into the first question. How does gaining knowledge influence your sense of certainty and confidence? Well, let's say for instance that you decide to open your own business. There's a lot of know-how that needs to go into opening your own business. First, you need to know the laws that surrounds owning and operating a business. To get a little bit more specific, in your hometown, understand what it means to open a business in your hometown. So just getting your license, your business license to operate in that hometown. Um, Tax law. Got to understand tax law when it comes to opening your own business. Do you want to be a sole proprietor or do you want to be an LLC? Very important to know those things and to have certainty that, as you move forward in your business venture, that you've covered all bases. So knowledge, like I said, knowledge is some people say, well, I just, they like to learn, on the job learning or training or learning as they go. But that could be costly to you, especially when we're talking about opening up a business. So it's very important that you understand tax law, business law, economics, finances, bookkeeping. There's so many things that goes into labor laws, because if you have employees, you got to understand labor laws, equal employment, all those things that go into the protections of the employee. And so I think it's very important. If, like in the example that I gave you, it builds confidence, right? You desire to go and open up your business. You're gonna, it removes fear. I'm not gonna say all of it, but it kind of, there's a certain level of anxiety when it goes into doing something as big as opening your business. But when you go in with the knowledge and the certainty of that you know what you're doing, you're taking the right steps, the appropriate steps to open up your business, you do so with confidence, and the fear subsides, and then the excitement of opening your own business just takes over. It takes over more so, and where the fear just subsides. And so yeah, I think knowledge, it builds confidence. And before I go on to the next question, living, they call it the age, the technological age. But but what is fueling that technological age is data, big data, right? And so when I say that, when I shared the quote, the day you stop learning is the day you start dying. In today's time, where I've spoke about it before, so many things are changing, from our financial systems to our educational systems. Those things, those structures that we've grown with and know, they're changing. They are changing, and the way of life, the way we transact, financial is changing. I've talked just a little bit about Bitcoin, the new currency that is, people, you got some naysayers and you got some who are just full force behind it. And I am here to tell you, understanding that we're in a technological age and this new currency is fueled by this new technology. That's where we're headed, right? So it is. So I do understand the importance, or I have myself. I have taken something from someone who I trust, someone who I feel is in the know, someone I feel is a studied person, and I've taken what they've told me as truth, as golden, without even checking for myself. I am guilty of that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but this is something that I would suggest or recommend that you do, even for myself. Because knowledge is power. If it is something that is life changing, that someone that you trust or have confidence is sharing with you, it is so important to learn it yourself. Not to go throughout life um, based on what someone else says or what else is telling you. And guys, it is so easy to access knowledge these days. It is so easy. I mean, just picking up your phone, because it's glued to everybody's hip just about. Picking up your phone, you can Google something that you may not understand, and Google will give you so many resources to look even further, to dig deeper. Yes, paperback books still exist. You got Kindles. You if you're not a reader, I get it, I understand, but you even got software that'll read out loud to you. Um, and it's just so important to get knowledge for yourself, to study for yourself, especially when it comes to making big life changes. I'm gonna say like purchasing a vehicle. I know the average woman, my opinion, may not be as versed or understand, you know, cars. And let's say you're single, you may not have a male figure, someone in your family that does understand cars. How huge would it be for you to go in and understand the business of selling cars? First of all, understand how they mark the cars up, understand what to look for when you purchase a car, make sure you're not buying a lemon. So much information out there. Chat AI, AI chat, you can just about ask it anything, and it'll just spew out, information for you to absorb, to read, to make these informed. That's what it's all about. Knowledge is power, is about making informed decisions for yourself. It's okay for Uncle Jojo, Uncle Bobby, Auntie Mary, Big Mama who's lived about 80, 90 years. Now, I ain't taking away from the experience and the wisdom that these people may have, and what they may be telling you is true. But when it comes to making huge life-changing decisions in your life, be it religion, be it education, be it purchasing a new house, an example I gave, purchasing a new car, um, it is so beneficial for you to learn these things on your own. I get it. You may not have time to do all that. You're being pulled left and right. You got so many other things that you have to focus on and think about. I do get that. I do understand that. And sometimes it's quicker to go ask Uncle Bobby or Suella or whoever, their opinion. But no, 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 no. When it comes to something huge, something big, I think you're going to win on the front end. You're going to win on the front end by doing the homework yourself. And you guys give me just a minute because I was just twirling there. I seem to be having some internet issues. But if you can't hear me or see me, please let me know. Our chat is open. And yes, by the way, take another little pause. We do have the chat open. And if you have any questions throughout, just let me know. I can catch those questions as I go through. If it's something that I may be sure that's not clear to you, feel free to jump in the chat and ask your questions. You can also come on live with me. I would love to hear someone for just about any industry that you may be a professional experienced in, to come in and join in the conversation, because as a professional, I'm going to start there, because I did, say, knowledge is in so many different sectors of our lives. And I mentioned it, kind of narrowed it down a little bit. You got professional knowledge and you got the spiritual knowledge. So from the professional aspect, I'm going to use being a doctor as an example. No one is going to allow you or give you that accreditation without going to school for it. And not only going to school for it, you also have to go through clinicals. You have to get some kind of practical experience to start practicing on these people. And so that alone, knowledge alone, can help you from an economic standpoint. It can help you from an economic standpoint. So I'm gonna take on question number 2 right now, because I can keep going on and on. What are some practical ways to cultivate a mindset of certainty in your life? Gaining the knowledge. How can you be certain about something you haven't experienced? How can you be certain about something you're not educated on? And how can you be certain about something where you're just going to take the word of somebody else and run with it? You can't. Certainty comes with understanding, and understanding comes from having knowledge, and knowledge comes from research, being a learned individual. And I'm going to say, when it comes to our, culture, how important it is to have knowledge of where you come from, as an individual, your background, your ethnicity, because it helps affirm your identity, who you are as a person. On the on the Wednesday show with Lisa and I, we talked about kids who may not even know who their fathers are, and they like we're in their teens or 20s, and we're talking about it takes 48 chromosomes to make a human being. 24 from mom and 24 from dad. You're robbing that child from understanding and having the knowledge of where those other 24 chromosomes come from. And in knowing where your other half is on your dad's side, you'll get the chance to ask questions like, what type of health issues exist on their side of the family. How many, how far have our family gone from a knowledge perspective? Have they become doctors, lawyers, those sort of things that helps affirm your identity and of who you are. So that little bit, what I've shared so far just shows you how important knowledge is. It is so important. My people perish for lack of knowledge. And in my very first podcast, I shared, I think it starts with you understanding the spirituality, knowing who you are spiritually, understanding that you are a spark of divinity, that you come from the divine source, the creator source. All of us have, regardless of your title, whether you're a preacher, lawyer, doctor, whoever, we all came from that same spark of divinity, but we are all different because we're here living a physical experience. And so I've also gone, a little further to share my knowledge about numerology. The numerology and astrology, all those things work hand in hand. When you think about, okay, the stars and the moons and the sun, they're not just, astral beings. These are not just things that the universe or the creator sort of decide. I'm just going to plug some stars over here. I'm going to set the moon here. It's going to provide light for the earth at night, and then we got the sun that's going to shine by day and fuel everything, and give everyone that vitamin D to grow and stay healthy. No, those things, planetary beings, they mean something, and what they mean is they help when you're born. It's almost like your they call it a birthmark, but I'm going to say it designs you. It tells it's the recipe of Deborah. When Deborah was born on such date, she's gonna have this personality. She's gonna have these things about her. It's just who she's gonna be. This is how she's gonna operate in this physical being. And so numerology, as I've shared, and I'm not gonna get to it on this show, but it connects. I try to make the conversations connect to build a bigger picture, a body of knowledge. That's what it's all about, a body of knowledge. So I'm Deborah, and I understand that, I'm a leader. I know what motivates me. I know what does not motivate me. I know what agitates me. I know what makes me happy. I know what makes me sad. I know, all the ins and outs about this physical being. Then I'm like, oh, okay, so then I can better learn how to navigate this world, this life, navigate people, and understanding when I come across certain people that I don't necessarily gel with, it's because we're not on the same vibratory level. We're not compatible. And then it helps me to not to force something that is not intended to be, but understand, okay, me and this person, we're not compatible. That's great. That's cool. Do I want to continue to entertain this person? Do I want to continue to have this person in my life? That is up to me. But to better understand who I am and understand who they are, I think it helps build relationships. It helps cultivate relationships. And so all that I just shared, that is knowledge. From a spiritual standpoint, that is knowledge. It is important to understand it. And it's important to understand who you are in this physical being by understanding your culture, where you come from, your people, because like I said, it helps to affirm your identity. All right, I can keep going on and on because I am, I'm very passionate about, knowledge and helping people to grow and cultivate their own knowledge, because it only helps, guys. It only helps you, especially if you find yourself somewhere, in life and it's not where you want to be. It'll help. Having knowledge will help you to better map out a goal for your life, to get motivated by, by achieving it. And when I was saying that knowledge is so vast, it is so vast when you try to swallow it whole, or try to do this, try to do that, try to do this, try to do that. It can overwhelm you. It can cause so much anxiety and fear that you just don't do anything. At that point, you don't do anything. You become paralyzed. But when you can narrow that thing down to a focus point, a focus area. What is it that you're good at? Understanding what you're good at, and try to get as much, absorb as much knowledge as you can about that particular area. Whether you want to be a singer, you want to be a dancer, you want to be I don't know, do your own podcast show. Understanding the industry behind that, understanding, the technology behind all of that, understanding what knowledge or topics you want to cover, and what's your group, what is your market group, who's going to be interested in hearing what you got to say. Now, saying that, starting just conversations with Deborah, I just felt like, like I said, I've been in, the local grocery stores, just out and about, running errands, and people just looking for some authentic conversations. They were looking for authentic, someone they could hold a conversation with, because as we shared so many times before in the latest podcast show, technology keeps us so busy, keeps us so swamped. I mean, we're constantly doing this, and we forget about the human being, you know, being able, touching some, holding a real conversation with someone. And so that's how I got started, had the idea, birthed the idea of just conversations with Deborah. I was more so leaning towards, the elderly, so many, you know, our Asian community, the baby boomers, they're aging. And a lot of times, from visiting, my own grandmother in the nursing home, so many of them just get thrown in there and forgotten about. Don't see family for months at a time. And that could be a very lonely place, a very lonely feeling. And so, for the elderly people that who are still pretty, pretty much independent, able to get out and about and do a little grocery shopping or whatever, even yet and still, they don't have a lot of family members that come out and see them, or take out an hour of their time to sit down and talk to them and see how their day went, watch a movie with them or whatever it is, the pastime. They still don't, even the independent Asian community, they don't get a lot of interaction from their family members. And so I thought, okay, just conversation with Deborah, let's talk. I don't mind. I love, being in the company of the elderly. I mean, they have so much wisdom, so much experience to share. And so that's how I came about it. All right, so enough about that. If you got any questions, jump in the comment section. Be more than willing to answer those questions for you. But I'm going to move on to question number 3. Can you share a personal experience where knowledge helped you overcome doubt or uncertainty? Yes, actually. So I wasn't too sure about my spirituality. So, I've shared that I've come from a very religious background, from a coaching background, lived and breathed church. I mean, the Bible, read it back and forth, many of times. But that was still like a question mark, like something is missing. And so when I started to first gather the knowledge and try to understand this spiritual man, the spiritual side of things, reading books, there's a number of books that I have back there. There's different practices I've done, meditation, yoga. I am a certified Reiki master. I can, Reiki, I've studied that. I've learned that. I'm cultivating that. And all that knowledge that I gained on that spiritual side is why I'm able to talk about and share with you guys. That has helped me to better understand life. That was the whole goal. Now, that doesn't mean I have all the answers. I'm still learning. The day you start learning is the day you start dying. So I'm still learning this spiritual walk. But I will tell you this: when I was rooted in religion, I still had a lot of fear. I had a lot of fear about, what's to come, what's not to come, what's on the other side of the veil, heaven, hell, yada, yada. I had a lot of anxiety about those things. And God is a God, the creator is a creator of love. Fear, love removes all fear and doubt. And so as I've grown on the spiritual side of things, a lot of that fear has subsided. A lot of the anxiety has subsided when it comes to, what's on the other side of things. The Creator. That don't mean I become more open minded about life, less judgmental about life, and things that happen to me. That doesn't mean I'm perfect or I view people as being, yeah, we're perfect in love, but in this physical, we can do good, we can do bad, we can make unfavorable decisions, we can make favorable decisions. But I've learned to be more accepting of life, and not to say I don't question things, because unfavorable things still, happen. But I try to gain knowledge from what is happening or what has happened. But spiritual knowledge, it only encourages us to connect with our inner selves. The inner wisdom, it provides a sense of certainty. It transcends external circumstances, whatever may be happening in your life. And everyone knows right now is it's pivotal moment where there just seems to be so much chaos that if you allow it, it can consume you. But if you just focus on your own little universe, quiet the noise and go on the inside, it can transcend those external circumstances and just allow for a more centered and balanced life. And that's why I encourage everyone, peel back the pillars of knowledge. If you want to learn more things about on the spiritual side of things, who you are spiritually and, professionally, physically, I encourage you to, peel back the layers on those things. Everyone has different learning styles. Some people are more visual learning. Some learn through repetition. Certain people learn by hands-on experience, or so whatever your learning style is, cultivate that. Cater your learning around that so you can gain that knowledge, and so you don't get bogged down or not discouraged in trying to learn what it is that you want to apply your life. um and more so on the spiritual side again, spiritual traditions, it teaches us truths about existence. Like I was saying, learning who I am, the spiritual man as well as the physical man, and it just helps us to better connect with the Creator and with our fellow human being. Once again, knowledge and power. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Um, and that alone can instill a sense of certainty and purpose, and help us to, like I said, navigate life's challenges. It brings a sense of peace, like acceptance of the unknown. We don't know. As much as religion tried to teach me that is either heaven or hell. I mean, it was black or white, holiness or hell, holiness or hell. You sin, you're going to hell. As much as it tried to instill that in me, all it did was put fear in me. It didn't make me feel more connected to the universal source. It didn't make me feel more connected to people. And it certainly didn't help me to better understand who I am as this human being. It felt me, honestly, it left me feeling kind of empty. It did. It left me feeling kind of empty. But now that I'm on the spiritual journey, undergoing these spiritual teachings, it is, I'm more open minded. I'm more accepting of those things that are unknown. I draw more so from my spiritual experience. And even when I'm sharing my spiritual experience with you guys, I don't say it comes with certainty that this is absolutely what it is and it applies to you too. I can't tell you that. It's my own personal experience, my own inorganic experience with the creator source. And I believe my experiences give me what I need to navigate this life for me. And see, that is knowledge. And that's why it's so important for you as an individual to understand who you are, what fuels you, what do you need spiritually, physically, and professionally. What are those bodies of knowledge that you need to help you to navigate the challenges of this life? Because they're going to come. They're going to come. So that's what knowledge is all about. And with that being said, I am going to move on to question number 4. How can increased certainty in one area of life impact other areas or relationships? Well, for me, from the spiritual aspect, the spiritual knowledge that I have, it helps me. I feel more connected to universal source. I feel more connected to people because, like I just, like I stated at the early on, at the onset of the podcast show, that we are all sparks of divinity, peace creations of the divine source itself. So that alone lets me know that we're all connected. All things are connected. I don't care how much they try to play race on us. I don't care how they try to, pit male against female, children against parents. We're all connected. And I think once we understand that, we'll do better by our fellow man. I do. I think once we understand that, we would do better, towards our fellow man, because we are the same in so many ways, especially spiritually. But gaining knowledge about specific subjects, it just allows us to comprehend situations better, accurately. For example, understanding like if you want to get into, I don't know, the stock market, you definitely want to have some. When you talking about taking your hard-earned dollars, as they say on TikTok, I seen that trend. Give me my money. I think they said it like that. Give me my money. So you talking about taking your money and playing in that stock market that can be so volatile? Man, I know people who have lost their shirts in the stock market. So let's say, for instance, you're trying to get into the stock market. It is so important that you understand the market, the trends. There are charts out there that you can study. I think it's very important to even go a little bit further, understand the very foundations of the stock market. How did it get started? Because it's a gamble. You think it's hard to go win, play the Powerball, play the lottery and win. Baby, you get in that stock market, you're gonna lose more than your shirt. It could be tough. So that's why I say knowledge is power, especially if it's something specific that you're trying to get into. I think it's best to break it down, you know, what is, what is specifically for you and what you're trying to better understand, what you're trying to get knowledge around. But using that stock market as an example, it is an uncertain market. It is volatile at times, and it is best to get educated, especially when you're dealing with your money, So just to be cute, just, that as an example. But like number 4 says, how has it impacted other areas of relationships? Well, your decision, your ability to make decisions, whatever the subject area may be, whatever you're trying to make a decision on, it is important to get knowledge around that particular thing before you make a decision. It enhances your decision-making ability because you're educated, you got some knowledge on this thing, and it's okay. You can get your knowledge from various sources. I just said, don't just depend on mama, pawpaw, Uncle Bo, whoever for your knowledge. They may have experience, they may have some wisdom in a particular area, and that's okay. Let's take that. That's a body of knowledge we can use to compare. But ultimately, it is your responsibility. It should be your responsibility. Pick up a book, use Google, use AI chat, use different resources around that particular decision making topic to make a sound decision. You're going to feel better about it. Whatever decision you make, you're going to feel better about it because you know you have done your research, you've done your homework, and you have equipped yourself with this knowledge to make a sound decision. And if the decision that you make doesn't go the way you wanted it to, it won't sting so bad because you know you did your best, you put your best foot forward, and you saw knowledge in that particular area before you made a decision. So it just helps you to make an informed decision. And when you have the right information at your disposal, you're more than likely to make the decision that's going to give you a favorable or successful outcome. Knowledge is power, people. Hosea 4:6. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to pivot a little bit, but I mentioned this, early on in the podcast show. Our world is changing. We're at the cusp. Do you hear me? Where it's just going to start taking off. You can be like, whoa, when did that happen? Whoa, when did that? And you won't be that person if you were right in it. You was in the flux of the trend of what's happening, understanding the technology, the financial system that's changing, understand how politics are changing, education. And you won't feel left behind. And you don't have to be like they say in Hosea 4:6. My people perish for lack of knowledge. It doesn't take a whole lot. And like I said, you don't have to consume the whole hog because we can't anyway. Our little minds can only hold so much information and retain it. Take out what's important to you, what's impactful to your life, to you as a human being, and you grow that knowledge on that using various sources to help it become transformative. Be transformative. You're never too old to learn. And a lot of people get discouraged in their learning journey because they're like, man, I can't do that. I can't understand. I just can't. I can't understand this math. It's above me. I don't understand them words. I don't understand the stock market. To me, everyone is capable of learning. They just have different learning styles. As I said earlier, understand your learning style. Is it visual? Is it repetitive? Understand what it is and go for it. You can do it. You're capable. You're more than capable. Because if that scripture said, my people perish for lack of knowledge, in order to make a statement like that, that means my people are capable of learning and grabbing knowledge. They go hand in hand. So you are capable. Hey, Miss Felisa, I'm glad. Look, I was just going on and on. I just happened to look at the comments. Hey, how you doing? Thank you so much. Felisa said the stock market is a language by itself. It is. And Deborah, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I understand because I don't. That is not my ministry. That is not my ministry. Like I said, that ain't something I dabble with anyway. So it's not impactful to me because now if I were to get in it and understand it, because just about everything in this economy, is played on the stock market. Yeah, I probably could benefit for it, but that's just not my ministry. I want to spend my energy somewhere else. And Lisa said, no, never. She said, when I don't know, I sure ask for help. I'm good. Just got absolutely. And you may, recall that she was saying there's no such thing as a stupid question or a dumb question. Absolutely, certainly not. That's a new word that I got. I made that word up some years ago. It's a combination of absolutely and certainly. So certainly. 2 words, like 1,000% confidence. When you are absolutely certain, that means you have got knowledge in that particular area that you're trying to share with someone or you trying to utilize in your own life. Absolutely certainly. And tonight, we're talking about the power of certainty, how knowledge transforms your potential. Man, with knowledge, when you got knowledge on a particular something and you share that knowledge, you talking back and forth with somebody, don't you feel motivated in it? Don't you feel confident in it? Don't you feel empowered? Because you're sharing something with someone that you know for sure. I know this. Be it from experience, picking up a book, pulling information off the internet. I know this. I've studied this. And and not to get on the political aspect of it, because you know I don't like to talk about that. But um I was told by someone to never blindly follow anyone. Never blindly follow anyone. Always study to show thyself approved. I don't care if it's your pastor. I don't care if it's your first lady. I don't care if even your teacher. They can get it wrong. They can get it wrong. Your doctor, if the doctor give you a diagnosis you don't wholly believe is true, get a second opinion. Knowledge is power. Now, the other aspect of this knowledge thing, talking about the physical aspect of it, know your numbers when it comes to your health. Know your numbers. You know, where's your cholesterol level? Is your blood pressure good? Or, you know, they talk about, you know, diabetes and, you know, the female, you know, making sure, you know, all is well with the female and, you know, female parts. And the only way you're going to know that, you got to go get your checkup. You got to go get checked on. You do. And once you have that knowledge of where things are, well, I need to pull back. I don't need to be, you know, taking in all this sugar. I need to pull back. I don't need to be eating all this fatty food. Blood pressure, I need to do better, you know, maybe exercise, less stress in your life. All that is just knowledge. Knowledge to have those things in your life is so powerful. It is so powerful. It builds resilience, y'all. Knowledge helps build resilience in the face in challenging times. I'm sure you all agree, and we said it so many times on the Lady Podcast. We're living in some challenging times, a lot of chaos. And so, if you're someone who's not so good at finances, you know, balancing the checkbook, even though I haven't seen a checkbook and God knows when, but I have my own system in place that for checks and balances, you know, to make sure, you know, things are as they should be and not to be operating in the red, especially during these challenging times when you got to make a dollar out of a nickel. That how they say that, Lisa? What's that saying? A dollar out of 15? I don't know. Help me out, Lisa. Whatever that saying is, we all learn, you know, got to do that in this day and time. But if you educate yourself on how to create a budget, how to balance your budget, have some kind of tracking system in place, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet or some of these banks have gotten even fancy to where it has all your debits and credits. You can, I think, export a report and you can kind of see where you're spending all your money. So you can you got the knowledge of where you're spending your money, because when you out there just ching 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 ching, you know, spending, you're not putting it in your memory bank to go back and say, okay, I spent X amount of dollars on this that day. Because like I said, our brains can only hold so much. But if you have something like, you know, a system in place, or utilize the tools that your bank have to where you can export and see your debits and credits, and it'll tell you. I done seen they done got fancy. They done got fancy. You can't tell me none of this technology is well on its way. You done spent X amount of dollars on groceries this day, X amount of dollars shopping for shoes. You done spent X amount of dollars on entertainment. And once you understand that, you can say, okay, I'll pull back. Oh, that's right. Lisa said dollar out of 15 cents. It's hard to pay your. I think that was Tupac. What that Tupac, Lisa? But I'm just saying all this to say that, you know, knowledge helps build confidence. It helps you build confidence. The more knowledge you acquire, the more confident you become in your abilities to navigate this life and to have self-assurance in time of chaos and challenges. With right now, our economy is being challenged, and we're all feeling the pinch, you know. So to just have knowledge on your own finances, put a system in place to be more conscious of, you know, conscious of your finances. That's knowledge within itself. That's knowledge. Okay, it was Tupac. I knew it because the song, you know, the words was coming. The word was coming to me. But yeah, Lisa said, better keep up with all this new technology or get left. You ain't look, Lisa. You hadn't joined at the time, but that's when that saying you may have heard me say. The day you stop learning is the day you start dying. Not in the physical, so to speak, but like you said, you're gonna get left behind. And who wants to get left behind? You don't have to. There's too many resources out there. There's too many resources out there and free resources. Now, I haven't done any research on it, but it's out there. Google it. Free resources for me to become, let me see, a marketing consultant. I don't know what it is that you want to do. If you want to be a marketing consultant, use myself as an example. All right, project management, information technology, project management. If I wanted to, go off my own and be independent contractor, consultant, and get some other project managers under my belt. I don't know how to do that right now, but there are so many resources out there that can lead and guide me on how to do that. I do understand how to, launch a business because my husband and I have done several. Know how to open up and, open up an LLC, create an LLC, board of directors, all that stuff. Understand how to do that. So that's but that is where I would start digging, try to understand, okay, I will do a refresher, starting my own business, the laws around that, legal laws, tax laws, was it equal opportunity? No, the employee, the rights, employee rights, understanding all that, labor laws. That's what I was looking for. It is so much information out there. So people, what I'm trying to say is even your creator understood the importance. Well, the creator is their body of knowledge, all seen. But for us who are living this physical experience, understand the divine creative source gave us this experience and this physical, giving us knowledge. My people perish for lack of knowledge. And God, there is no excuse when it comes to the Internet of Things, this phone. Even if you don't know how to work an iPad or a laptop, you can just check Siri. Siri, can you pull up information on how to start up a business? Man, let's give it a go. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to show you just how knowledge is at your fingertips. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. She may be just waking up. Hi, Siri. She don't want to talk today. Hi, Siri. Can you pull up information on how to start a business?
I found this on the web.
Do you see that? All I said was, hey, Siri, can you provide me information on how to start a business? And I tell you what, I got like 3 links. And if I clicked on one of those links, it's going to give me all of that information and other links I can click on. Ain't no excuse, people. Ain't no excuse. Find out what it is that motivates you. What do you want to do with your life? I don't care how old you are. I don't care, 70, 80. The day you stop learning is the day you start dying. That means you are capable. And you got to exercise this brain. You got to exercise this brain. So whatever it is that you want to do, when you figure that out and set that goal and start grabbing knowledge around it, it's just going to empower you. It's just going to motivate you to move full speed ahead and make that thing happen. It is. Knowledge is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. That's something we try to impart to our kids, these youngins who just, man. Sometimes I just feel like they don't understand, but they do. They do. Even our younger generation has a place and time in this era, and I do believe, I got faith and hope in them. They're going to do some marvelous things. They are. I mean, they're exposed to so much data, so much, so many opportunities. They're going to do something with it. Oh yeah, Lisa Suri is a beast. She is. So I'm going to get to our. We got about 6 minutes, but I do want to get to another question. Question number 5, I believe. All right, I'm going to pop it up here. What resources do you recommend for those looking to expand their knowledge and embrace their potential? So I've, talked about that incessantly on, throughout answering all the other questions. You see, I asked Siri, you ain't even got to type it in. You can do, there's AI is becoming a big thing. There's applications out there that you could, subscribe to, and it'll take you, probably give you step by step instructions on what it is that you want to do. So the knowledge is out there. Like I said, it can be from experience, talking to your big mama, your uncle Ricky, your auntie Teresa, whoever it may be. But don't stop there, please don't. And you know what? And not to get on a negative rant or whatever, but is it just me? Or is it that when you do go to your family members or even some of your friends or something that you want to do, something positive that you want to do in life, 9 times out of 10, they don't give you any advice on how to go about doing it. They try to talk you out of it. Oh no, you may not want to do that. I mean, you see, you too old to be trying to start something new. Just retire from the job that you have. Well, is it just me? So a lot of times, I'm a person that's hard to ask for help anyway. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. But when you go to those people, they are naysayers. They're negative. They don't try to help you or motivate you. Is that because they just settled on what they wanted, whatever their goal is? They ain't trying no more. They done gave up. So I guess I have to answer my own question. How do you go? How can you go to somebody who ain't motivated about life and expect them to be motivated and inspired by what you trying to do? Knowledge is power, people. I just answer my own question. What Lee said, cause they don't know how to do it themselves. Absolutely. Absolutely right. They don't know how to do it themselves and they ain't motivated to do nothing. Do you hear me? I ain't knocking those individuals because this life is individual. This journey is personal. And if you okay getting up every day and whatever it is that you do every day, you're okay with that. I'm okay with that. I just know not to go to you for no advice. How about that? So yeah, like Lisa said, because they don't know or how to do it themselves. Absolutely, absolutely. But if you have that rare gem in your family or in your circle of friends that is like a cheerleader to you, even if they don't have knowledge to impart upon you, just that boost of confidence. You're saying, go forward, go forward. Whatever you need, I'm here to support you. And you got that rare gem in your circle, share the good news with them. Share the good news with them. Because I am a believer. Ooh, faith moves mountains. And if you got faith in yourself and you got someone who can help build that faith that you have, help lift you up and motivate you in a time of need. Because 9 times out of 10, when you're starting on a new venture in your life and it's something that is going to be impactful, very, beneficial to your life, it ain't going to be easy. Anything worth having, is going to take some work. And you're going to get in those moments or, like you feel like just giving up. Like you just feel like giving up. Because as an example for myself, when I was going to school, 4-year college, it's like 4.5. Yes, because I ended up changing majors. Oh, it got tiring, y'all. It got hard. It got difficult, and a part of me wanted to just say, well, I did contemplate taking a break, but I said to myself, if I take a break, I'm not going to go back. And I knew it. I knew I was not going to go back because it's so easy to quit, y'all. It's so easy to give up. But when you sit back and time pass and you have that regret set in, like I just should have kept on pushing. And like I said, if you don't have anyone to motivate you to tell you to keep going, like I had that one person. I think I had a good group of people back then. But one particular person, my cousin, And I'm pretty sure he don't mind me throwing his name out there, Ricky, oldest cousin. Don't give up. Keep going. He said, keep going. And I did. His words helped me through those difficult times to keep going, to keep it. And I appreciate him. I love you, cousin, for that. Life has, definitely been, definitely put myself in a better position, and things are just getting better and better. So Lisa said, right, because I need a strong support system when I'm working on something, especially when it's a new thing for me. Absolutely. Everybody needs a support system, someone who's going to lift them up and be, help them get up from those difficult, build confidence when there's doubt. Everyone needs that, that individual, that tell you can do it. I can believe in you. It can get tough, but hey, it's possible. So, all in all, it has been a beautiful hour with you guys, trying to taking back the layers, peeling back the layers on what it is to have knowledge. You don't have to eat the whole pig; just get whatever part of it that's impactful to you. Like if you like the tail, you like the foot, you like the hoof, you like the ear, carve that out, study it, apply it, go forth and conquer. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. And what we have scrolling down here on the banner is our lineup, the Ladies Podcast Show. The lineup, I am your host, Deborah, Just Conversation with Deborah, here every other Sunday. So I'm here tonight. I won't be here next Sunday. And I think the next show that we have lined up will be Miss Felisa, Talk to Felisa on Tuesday, started at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Be back here Wednesday. We'll be back here Wednesday for Lisa and I at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, and then I'll be back. Yeah. So if you have not already like, share, and subscribe to the Ladies Podcast Show, we would love to have you in our growing community. As I have said before, we are growing. We are doing some awesome, amazing things. Just having meaningful conversations in every area of life, and you'll be so surprised how everyone has something to share. That's like I said, we are not so different, guys, with the things that we face in our lives from time to time. So let's join the community. Let's be our own cheer team. Join the Lady Podcast Show community. We'd love to have you. Lisa said, great show, Deb. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Lady Podcast Show. We are growing. We're excited about what we're doing. And before I go, I do want to, because I didn't do this last time and I haven't done it in a while. Shame on me. I do want to share my book that is out. Let's see here. See if I can bring it up. Last time I was able to do that. All right, we're going to present. Video file. I'm going to share my screen. All right, let's see. All right. Don't want to act right tonight, but I do want to mention that on Amazon, I do have a book out called Why God Answers a Sinner's Prayer. It is out on Amazon, and I think it's about 160 odd pages, so it's not a huge read. So I would definitely love your support if you could do that. And I'm going to put the link. I'm going to grab the link right now. I'm going to put it in the chat so you can grab it. I would love your support. And I like to say I do give an interesting perspective on answering that question. B. Walter put it out there. I don't know why it's coming up as just a hyperlink. It's not coming up as the but it is there. Nevertheless, it's there. And there is, I forgot to mention the Ladies Podcast barcode that is in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. If you just take your phone, scan it, take you straight to our podcast show on YouTube, Lady Podcast Show. All right, that is all that I have for tonight. Thanks, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a good night.